my friends? Kevin Steineman coming at you with the Mobile Minute. Wow, what a change in pace for news today as compared to yesterday. I actually have a ton of stuff to go through, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. FOAP app, I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. It's a Swedish startup that basically has an app that lets you make money off your friends' photos that they upload to the FOAP marketplace. Every friend you refer, you can make a 10% royalty into perpetuity, which basically means forever, so long as they're selling their photos on the marketplace. The photos are selling for $10, and FOAP or FOAP, however you pronounce it, makes half of that. So essentially, you'd only be getting like a quarter, but you know, considering most apps sell for $1 and Apple takes their 30% cut, they're really making 70 cents on the dollar. So you're not making too much less in the app industry, technically, right? So anyway, it's a pretty cool idea, definitely worth checking out. I'll include the article below as always. Next one I want to talk about is, oh yeah, actually I just wrote an article about mobile app analytics. Should definitely check it out. It's got some great information in there, and I spent a pretty significant amount of time writing it, so it makes sense, and I think you're gonna learn a lot. There's some tools and tips, and it's definitely worth checking out, so make sure to check out the link below this video. The next thing is actually for you Android lovers out there and you iPhone haters, you know, the Android operating system actually has surpassed 70% market share. It's at 72% in some odd numbers, and that to me is incredible. You know, from last quarter and actually even last year, I think Apple is holding strong with 30% market share, whereas Android was around 54 or something like that, and now Apple only has 13% of the market share for their operating system. But what's surprising is Samsung is leading the way in its hardware sales with around 98,000. Then, believe it or not, Nokia is not too far behind them with around 82,000. And then Apple is all the way down like a quarter of what Nokia is, and probably almost a fifth of what Samsung is, with 23,000 devices. I mean, I really don't know what to say to that. So if you're an Android lover, that's great news, but if not, then don't know what to tell you. As a developer, you know, you certainly want to consider that you should probably consider getting into the Android market soon. While the advantage that Apple had in the past was that they had more apps, their screen sizes were not as many, and their operating system was just rolled out onto all their devices seamlessly. Whereas with Android, what happens is it generally is taken upon the responsibility with the carrier. So let's say Sprint or Verizon or T-Mobile or AT&T, right? So whenever Android rolls out an update, whatever it's gonna be, you know, Gingerbread as an example, the carriers are actually the ones who release that update to the device, the users of the devices. So, you know, Apple seamlessly updates all the hardware. There is no intermediary, there's no middleman. Whereas Android has the carriers decide when they want to update, and that's probably why, like I wrote about in another article, Android Gingerbread was very susceptible to malware and hacking. So, you know, it's really at the discretion of the carriers to let those updates out. So anyway, I don't want to digress. Let me get to the next point. Social video app Bodio has a new update where they basically have given you the option to integrate your Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter networks in the app. And so what this app really does is it aggregates video and it also offers insights into what's trending amongst your friends and users within the app. So it's definitely worth checking out. I don't want to get too much into it because obviously this video is just meant to kind of sum everything up, and if you are interested you can read more about it just below this video. You know you want to. Anyway, Lovely app, that's actually the name of this app, is a new app for iOS. They were originally a web platform. It's basically for apartment hunters and house hunters looking to find a place to live, and it's really cool. I checked it out earlier on their website. I haven't downloaded the app yet, to be honest, but I do plan on downloading it in the future because it's actually pretty cool. I mean, the different things that it shows you online is very helpful, I think, as someone who's hunting for a house or an apartment. And it also gives you the ability, especially in very competitive marketplaces where it's hard to find like a good deal on housing, like in San Francisco for instance. You know what I'm talking about? I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's a great app in very dense cities and I'd highly recommend it. Lovely app is the name. I'm sure if you Google it, or I'll also include their website in the article below this video, and you can find it on there. Okay? Cool. So, the other day I actually wrote an article about Samsung raising their processor prices on Apple for around 20%. Well, there is an update to that story. Let me see if I can pronounce this. The Hankyoreh is a Korean newspaper. Actually reported that an executive denies that they were going to increase the prices on Apple for their processors by 20%. Also adding that those types of negotiations usually happen at the beginning of the year, and you can read more about it if you want in the article below. So, last thing. Oh yeah, actually, today I'm going to include some cool startups that I found. They're not necessarily associated with apps or, you know, being a developer, but they're really cool. One of them is actually called Fold Me, where it's basically, you know, these little pieces of paper that you can have as your caricature, and you can fold it up, and it has like a box head and stuff like that. The second one is a Instagram like camera that's seriously like this big, and they both have Kickstarters right now, so that's why I want to share them. I think, you know, the more help they can get, the better. They're very cool, and I'll include both their videos in the article I write, which will be in just a few minutes. So, that really wraps it up for the Mobile Minute today, guys. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.